me as we welcome to the stage Mr. Kevin Gaines, the principal of the Hart County High School Bulldogs.
Mr. Floyd, Ms. Huggins, Regent of John Benson Chapter, NSDAR, Mr. Fulgham, Master Sergeant McCaffrey, and most important, all the veterans of the Armed Services, welcome to the 2016 Hart County and Hart County High School Veterans Day program. This morning, we deliberately pause from our academic efforts to recognize the sacrifice our veterans offered so that our students have the freedom to pursue an education. This Veterans Day is a little different, especially if you may. As you know, our country just elected a new president. The election may have been divisive, but in a few months, we will have a peaceful transition of power. In the context of history, this is extraordinary. And it was the unity of the veterans of our nation that permitted our country to elect our leaders. May we as a nation come together to preserve unity as an honor to those who have sacrificed to preserve our union. We look forward to the remarks of Mr. Fulgham from the American Legion Post 109 and from Master Sergeant McCaffrey from the University of Georgia's Senior ROTC Department. To help us honor our veterans, our band and chorus will contribute their tremendous talents. Our TSA students prepared a tribute with military footage from one of our own graduates. We will close our ceremony as our superintendent, Mr. Floyd, reads the names of Hart Countyans who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. As he reads the names, I'll ask that all members of our audience stand if able. And now, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jesse Lopez, leader of our Bulldog Battalion, which planned today's ceremony, will remind us of the true purpose of Veterans Day. Cadet Lopez.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Floyd, Master Sergeant McAuliffe, Mr. Fulgham, distinguished guests, and most importantly, our own Hart County veterans. Welcome. Veterans, we are gathered here today to honor you. To help us honor you, I will ask that all veterans stand at this time. Fellow students, these men and women who stood before us are the reason we are gathered here today. They, along with their brothers and sisters who paid the ultimate sacrifice, are worthy of our recognition. Their service, and those who serve before them in the armed forces, help secure the freedoms that we too often take for granted. We enjoy rights and privileges that they purposely gave up during their time of service. Why? Because they respect our nation, our government, and most importantly, they loved us. Greater love has no one than this, that someone laid down his life for his friends. And in this case, greater love has no better example than this, that these men and women demonstrated their willingness to lay down their lives for our country and our Constitution. For many years, our nation failed to adequately recognize our veterans. Promises made were not kept. Some generations of servicemen and women were treated horribly. Our nation as a whole has made great strides to correct this and pay just tribute to them. Today, we play our part as we humbly pay our tribute to them. Before we continue on, let me read for you some words from President Kennedy. He said, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them." Please stand and join me for the posting of the colors, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and for the National Anthem. Color guard, post. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem provided to us today by the Hart High School Band and Chorus. It is customary for uniformed personnel to stand at attention while indoors, and for citizens to place their right hand over their heart during the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats and direct your attention to the stage as the Hart County High School Symphonic Band plays the Armed Forces Medley and the Hart County High School JRTC presents the service flags. It is customary for the service flag of the respective song remain upright while the other service flags dip in respect. It is also customary for veterans of each service to stand when their service song is played. Please direct your attention to the screen for a video salute to veterans. Some video contents of this presentation were made by Airman Tybee Hurst, a 2014 graduate of Hart County High School.
Video one. Oh, it's on. It's up. It's up. We're good.
National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution presents a wreath in honor of veterans of our armed forces. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats and welcome Mr. James Fulgham, a U.S. Army veteran from Hartwell's All-American Legion Post 109.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's ceremony, and thank you for attending. I'm honored to be speaking with you today on such an important occasion. We're here today to honor our service members and to remember their sacrifices they have made and the courage it takes to defend honor, duty, and country. We're here today to honor our heroes, to remember their achievements, their courage, and their dedication, and to say thank you for their sacrifices. Thanking of the heroes who join us in this group today, and those who are here in spirit. A person cannot help but feel awed by the enormity of what we encounter. We stand in the midst of patriots and the family and friends of those who have nobly served us. I'd like to say to the service members and veterans who are here today to please stand. Thank you for answering the call to duty. You have made our armed forces the most respected in the world. You lead us by example. Now, I would like to ask a family member of any service member to stand. That's your spouses. Your service, we know you have lived through difficult times and often take the heavy load, your spouses, to keep the home fires burning. Thank you for what you have done. The service members we honor today come from all walks of life, but they share several fundamental qualities. They possess courage, pride, determination, selflessness, dedication to duty, and integrity. All the qualities needed to serve a cause larger than oneself. Many of them did not ask to leave their homes to fight on distant battlefields. Many didn't even volunteer. They didn't go to war because they loved fighting. They were called to be part of something bigger than themselves. They were ordinary people who responded in extraordinary ways in extreme times. They rose to the nation's call because they wanted to protect a nation which has given them and us so much. Veterans Day, originally called Armistice Day, was originally designated as a day to celebrate the end of World War I. The First World War ended November 11, 1918, and the legislation that created Veterans Day was, and I quote, dedicated to the cause of world peace and to be hereafter celebrated and known as Armistice Day. As time went on and we engaged in further conflicts during World War II, Korea, veteran, and the wars we have today, they lobbied for a change. Rather than honoring the Armistice and honor those who served in World War I, the holiday will now honor all veterans from every war and conflict the United States has encountered. We honored our troops and their service and sacrifice ever since. Today, people throughout the country will gather together to remember, to honor, and to pay gratitude to those who have served our country. It's not a lot, but it's one small way we can honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. so that we can live in freedom. Your presence here today and that of the people gathered all across this great land of ours is a tribute to those troops and to their families. It is a way to say we remember and we will never forget. From the soldiers who shivered and starved through the winter at Valley Forge, to the doughboys crouched in the muddy trenches of France, to the platoon who patrolled the hazy jungles of Vietnam, and the young men and women patrolling the mountains of Afghanistan. We remember and honor them all. The American Legion shows his support for America's heroes through his Family Support Network, Legacy Scholarship Fund, Operation Comfort Warriors, Temporary Financial Assistance, and the National Emergency Fund, just to name a few of our programs. Veterans don't ask for much. They do not want to be in a special class, but benefits are a mere drop in the bucket compared to the financial and human cost of war. And while not all veterans see war, all who served in the military have expressed a willingness to fight if called. You can now show support for these great men and women by hiring a veteran in your workplace, visiting a VA hospital, or donating to a veterans program. Companies should understand that it's smart business to hire veterans. And when members of the Guard and Reserves deploy, it is America's business to ensure their civilian careers do not suffer. Homelessness is another issue that affects veterans. Too often, today's fallen citizen of the street was yesterday's toast of the town, a crisp uniform and rows of shiny medals. This is hardly the thanks of a grateful nation. We can do better. We must do better. Fewer than 10% of Americans can claim the title veteran. Far less, 1% of our population is currently defending us in the global war on terrorism. Veterans have given us freedom, security, and the greatest nation on earth. It is impossible to put a price on that. Jesus died for our sins. The American soldier died for our freedom. We must remember them. We must appreciate them. Veterans, I salute you. God bless you for being here. God bless our veterans, and God bless America.
Before I introduce the next speaker, I want to recognize a couple people. This day is about all veterans. However, some veterans have been called to answer and defend our country in time of conflict and combat. As someone who has been on the field of battle, I think it's safe to say that I can speak for those who have also picked up a weapon in defense of our country, that no one hates war more than the United States service members. However, we're realistic. We understand that there's going to be war in the future. Because of that, we need Americans to stand up and answer that call. So right now, what I want to do is recognize student body, some of you who have stood up at this point and have already answered that call. The ones who have already said, I will stand up for your rights. I will sacrifice my freedoms for yours. So I call out these names. I would ask that these students stand up. Christiana Moore, United States Navy. Allison Rippey, United States Army. James Luke, United States Army. Garrett Strickland, United States Army. Owen Hansford, United States Marine Corps. And student body, if I miss somebody, I can stand up. Recruiters don't tell me everything. But again, on behalf of the veterans, my brethren, we thank you for standing up. Our guest speaker, this is an honor for me because our Bulldog Battalion reached out to another Bulldog Battalion to send someone to address the audience here. It's also special to me because I graduated from the University of Georgia, and we have a senior military instructor from the University of Georgia to come speak to us today. So please give a round of applause as we welcome Master Sergeant McAuliffe.
Good morning. Just to let you know, I'm not the greatest person at giving speeches, and I have been in the Army now for 22 years. And, sir, I do appreciate the invitation because this will be the first time I've actually spoke to an audience on a day like Veterans Day. So, thank you all for having me. Sir, thank you for inviting me. Some of the stuff you're going to hear, you've probably heard in the last couple speeches, so I apologize. But prior to 1954, Veterans Day was known as Armistice Day. This day marked the anniversary of the end of World War I, in which, on the 11th hour, on the 11th day of the 11th month, the armistice with Germany was to take effect. It was to remember all service members who died during World War I. But in 1954, on May 26th, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed a bill that established the holiday remembering all veterans who served, whether it's during conflict or not. And later that year, on June 1st, the holiday was actually renamed to Veterans Day. For over 240 years, this country's citizens have stood up and heeded the call to topple dictators, quell tyrants, and find and defeat terrorists in order to preserve what is and always shall remain true to the American spirit, and that is freedom. The United States and all of its services, the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, Navy, and Coast Guard, have all had the benefit of all different walks of life donning the various uniforms of our military service. African Americans, white Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, and so many more. Now, although she didn't wear an actual Army uniform, and some of you have probably heard this story before, me being a Yankee by birth, I've never heard this story, and while I was getting ready for the speech, I found it pretty interesting. But she didn't wear a uniform. She was a very courageous and undeniably honorable woman in her own way, who helped turn the tide during the Revolutionary War. A group of 5 or 6 British soldiers came to her house, either looking for food or looking for a militia soldier they were pursuing. The soldiers demanded that this woman cook them one of her turkeys, and she agreed to feed the British soldiers. As they entered the cabin, they placed their guns by the door and sat down at a table to eat. As they were drinking and eating, she pushed their guns through a hole in the wall of the cabin. After the British soldiers had been drinking a sufficient time, she grabbed one of the remaining guns in order she did told them not to move. One ignored her threat, so she shot and killed him. Another made move towards the weapons, and she also shot and killed him. And the remaining soldiers were taken care of once her husband arrived home. This woman's name, as most of you have heard before, was Nancy Morgan Hart, a woman that although didn't wear the uniform, still truly believed in the spirit of what our nation was built, and at that time was being built upon. Her efforts and accomplishments throughout her life in the Revolutionary War led to her forever being honored and remembered with the naming of the county in which you live and the school in which you attend. Now, here are just a couple quotes I'd really like you to think about. We remember those who are called upon to give all a person can give. And we can remember those who were prepared to make the sacrifice if it were demanded of them in the line of duty, though it never was. Most of all, we remember the devotion and gallantry in which all of them ennobled their nation as they became the champions of a noble cause. And the second quote. It's about how we treat our veterans every single day of the year. It's about making sure they have the care they need and the benefits that they have earned when they come home. It's about serving all of you as well as you serve the United States of America. Now, these two quotes, although seemingly the same, the praise of our veterans, were made by two different people, both of them holding the office of President of the United States. The first was made by President Ronald Reagan, a Republican president. The second was made by our current president, President Barack Obama, a Democratic president. I wanted to mention these two figures on this day because of the process that we as a country have personally witnessed during the last 18 months, and most especially within the last 3 days, when our country elected its next president of the United States. For us, currently serving in uniform, and for those over 39 million whom have served in uniform, and worn the uniform between 1776 and now, not only do we look towards our president for leadership, but we also, no matter what our party affiliation, stand ready to serve, obey, and comply with the orders of that individual, man or woman, as our commander-in-chief. Regardless of that individual that you chose to cast your ballot for, or for most of you sitting here whom your parents and family chose to cast their ballots for, one thing remains true as it did 240 years ago. Men and women continue to wear our country's uniform today in order to ensure the right of every citizen that was granted to them in the Constitution of the United States of America. So today, I want to myself thank you all. So if all veterans could please, one last time, please stand up and get a round of applause. So one last time, for all our veterans, past, present, and future, thank you. And again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today.
Thank you, Master Sergeant Call, for your service to our nation and for your inspiring words today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jay Floyd, Superintendent of the Hart County School System.
As we stand here today, I hope that you all realize that not every community and every high school gets to celebrate on Veterans Day and have such a ceremony. I hope that you would keep this as sacred as anything that you do for our school system and our school and our students. And I want to thank Kevin Gaines for hosting such a ceremony, and also our community for being very supportive. At this time, we'll have the roll call of the Hart County veterans who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Spanish-American War, George Reisner. Mexican Punitive Expedition, DeWitt Rucker. World War I, John W. Adams. George W. Casey. William J. Conley. Henry Gaines. Oscar D. McCurdy. Claude Stevenson. Owen J. Alford. Preston B. Carter. Charles P. Dodd. Anderson Harris. Lawrence Nix. Gilbert Thompson. Erskine Allen. Samuel J. Chapelier. James B. Estes. John R. Heaton. George W. Patterson. Yancey J. Wilson. World War II, Clifford A. Aleline. Gordon B. Chastain. Lucius Franklin. Brian M. Grigsby. W. A. Hayes. Robert Johnson. Rankin Q. McGee. Joe Franklin Obar. Clarence W. Rice Jr. John E. Rucker. Knox L. Scales. Travis G. Smith. William Marion Wilcox. Paris D. Bray, Clifford D. Drake, Benny Lindsay Gaines, Francis E. Haley, Joel L. Herndon, Walker H. Kay, Clarence A. Murray, Winston Obar, Robert B. Richardson, Frank Lee Sanders, Frank Lee Seymour, Holton D. Stovall, Jack C. Wilson, Willie Lee Cape, Jack C. Fleming, Lloyd R. Gaines, John Parks Harper, J.T. House, Fred M. Martin, John G. Nelms, James W. Purcell, Charles S. Roberts Jr., Enoch A. Scales, Ralph Sherrard, Thomas G. Welber, Korean Moore, Fletcher Gaines, Clarence Heaton Jr., McDowell McLean, Carl Wesley Rowland, Amos Cleveland Pete Temple, the Vietnam War, Lewis John Cleaver, Ralph DeWard Cordell, Thaddeus Durrett, Bobby James, Galen Minor Smith, Sammy H. Whitworth. Thank you for your attention to the roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Floyd, for honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as two distinguished members of the Hart County Marching Band will now play taps. Please observe a moment of silence following. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. Today and all days of the year, I ask that you remember the sacrifices of those who have served to protect our cherished freedoms, especially to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you, and may God bless America.
Students need to report back to advisement at this time. Students report back to advisement at this time.